He's the man in the back of the room. Y con la voz de Dios. He's told U.S. presidents where to sit, CEOs where to go, and stars when to shine. But as he likes to point out,
who cares? I care.
It's true, she cares. And so does he. He's entertainment and production agency owner and meeting and event master, Anthony Bollotta. She's his Agent 99, and you're about to be Bollotta-FIDE.
Hi, friends, and welcome to another episode of Bollotta-FIDE, the one and only podcast about events, entertainment, and engagement. I'm Anthony Bollotta, and I'm here as I am every single week with the always delicious, always optimistic Alexia Cristina Postolides. Opa, Alex.
Opa.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well. You know, I was thinking about you because I watched Greek Wedding 3.
Yes.
I couldn't stop thinking about you during the whole movie. I was like, oh my God,
hopefully
Alex
for good
would be
reasons,
laughing.
not the neurotic
for sure.
ones.
No. I'm Italian. We're as neurotic as they come. So,
Yes.
yeah, no, absolutely not. So you might be hearing a little background noise because I decided I needed a Ricola and I forgot to get one out of this little glass candle holder jar that we have on the table. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay, then I made much ado about nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get started, if you're a new listener, please take this time to like and subscribe.
Go ahead. We'll give you a sec.
Why, thank you!
So, big news this weekend. The Gaylord opened here in San Diego. They opened on Friday. I'm not sure if it was a soft opening or not, but they did have residents. They invited residents to go down and check it out. So that's good news that they opened and they're ready to start taking bookings. And we wish them luck. And, we hope to get them on this podcast soon to hear all about the opening and what's going on. Our friend Nikki Arnold is over there now, and we'll see what happens. But have you heard any of the buzz?
I really haven't, except for that I did see some pictures pop up somewhere. I'm sorry. I don't know if it was on socials or just in my feed, my normal news feed that comes up. And it looks incredibly beautiful.
Oh, I didn't see those pictures. I'm sorry, but that's delightful to hear. Their properties are nice properties. It's been a while since I've been to the Nashville property. I mean, literally, I think I was there. Oh, I remember when I was there. It's 2016. I was there during the election. And I remember quite strongly that I was there listening to the results of that election. Mm-hmm. And that is the oldest of the properties, and it still looks very nice. The rooms are still very nice. Of course, they've redone them. So it's a property you expect to be nice and to feel luxurious and big. They're always big properties. You can get lost in a Gaylord. No pun intended.
I'm sorry, I just snorted.
I said you could get lost in a Gaylord. I didn't say you can get lost in a gay lord.
Any way you say it is going to make the 12-year-old boy that lives inside my brain giggle, just so you know. It's who I am. I've embraced it.
Well, good for me to get a giggle this morning. Good for me. We have one of our best guests back, and I'm going to let you do the intro, but I just have to say that I was also laughing at the way it's listed in our calendar invitation, which is Gretchen Yerke returns. It's just like, maybe it's because I saw Star Wars this weekend. I was all
the return of the Gretchen Yerke.
Right. All right.
Okay.
So now that I gave it away, let's talk about why we have her back and bring her on. Go ahead.
Well, we know everybody knows now that she is a returning guest, which is awesome. She is also, in addition to all the amazing things she does, she's a dedicated sound practitioner and embodied dance coach, specializing in the use of sound and movement as powerful tools for energetic healing and personal transformation. Through her work, she helps individuals reconnect with their inner selves, release blockages, and cultivate balance and creativity. She is the creator of the Epic Connection, a community and healing collective, helping individuals find holistic practitioners and healing modalities to deepen their relationship with self on a more authentic level. Driven by her passion for human connection and well-being, Gretchen offers a holistic approach to healing, empowering individuals to explore their potential and embrace a deeper sense of harmony. Please welcome the incredible, the beautiful, the amazing Gretchen Yerke.
Aw, hello.
I couldn't find a single lie in that introduction, and I was looking. I was like,
He likes
I
to
was
out me,
looking.
Gretchen. He does.
Well, I was sitting here on the side laughing at, this when you said Star Wars Returns, and I was thinking, here I come with my crystal sword.
and your
but-
fedora.
And my fedora.
But wait, if we want to talk crystal swords, I'm holding one up now, everybody.
Oh, wow. Love
So
it.
we wanted to have you back because you and I have had at least one really in-depth discussion about sound healing and all of the complexities around it, right? Because on the surface, it just seems so simple and easy and even harmless, but it is much deeper than that. And so we thought we'd bring you on so that you could help us, reveal some of the layers, unpack it.
Yeah, I'm honored to be back and talking about something that's really been a passion of mine for the last couple of years. It's truly an honor to be here and talk about it. And you're right, it is. There's so many layers, and it's definitely much deeper than what it seems to be on the surface. So I'm happy to dive in.
Yay. Well, can we just start with the wellness trend in meetings and what that is all about and maybe a little bit about when that started? Because I see you as being on the forefront of that movement.
Yeah, I feel like it's been the last couple years, more and more corporations are trying to incorporate some sort of wellness into their events. Unfortunately, not any of my current clients right now have really wanted to take that task on, but I am seeing it more and more because I actually started doing more corporate events more recently than more privates and small group events. So it's definitely been on the rise. I would say maybe 3 to 4 years. What do you think?
Well, I know that we share an association client, and I have other association clients, and I do see that some of the larger ones do runs and have been doing that for a while, but that's not really so much about wellness as it is about fundraising, fun, having a cause. The wellness movement seems, I would have to say, within the last 2 to 3 years, I've seen a boom. We've seen a boom in wellness products and wellness initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sound healing has been around for a long time. Yeah.
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 Wow.
So do you have an idea, Gretchen, about?
Oh, I want to say, they started, I don't know this one. Alex, do you know? I want to say in the late 30s is what comes to me intuitively, but I could be way off.
As far as in the States?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been using music therapy for a long time,
Mhm.
and that's been around for a long time, which is like traditional music. But as far as the use of crystal bowls and chimes and flutes, that it's really ancient. I mean, it's been around for thousands of years. Um,
The Tibetan monks,
right,
right? So
right,
are they
right.
are they credited with being the introducers of sound healing or not? Do you know?
I think it might they date back to, Atlantean culture and Egyptian culture.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, how about your journey into mindfulness and wellness? Does it affect your approach to your work and your events?
Oh, this is a long, complicated answer I would have. I feel that I've always been drawn to sound my entire life, and music in general. I grew up dancing, and I grew up just listening to music, and really just connecting with the the beat and the harmonics and the emotion that came through in sound, in the sound and songs. Um, but I didn't quite pinpoint for myself that it was such a healing tool until about 5 years ago. Um, and when I started going on my, I would say, transformational healing journey, um, it just the power of sound resonated so deeply with me after experiencing it. And so it was kind of a thread that I wanted to pull on and look deeper into.
So, would it be fair to say that you're someone that has an emotional connection to music? You listen to a piece of music, and it could really uplift your spirits. It can really change your emotion just by really sinking yourself into that piece and
Yes,
listening. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I mean, it's as growing up, you hear old songs from your childhood and it immediately
Hmm.
takes you back to that moment, as a teenager or as a child. So it's really does create an emotion. I mean, I've had songs where just listen to it, every time I listen to it, I just sob.
Hmm.
And it's so beautiful, but it just really sparks this deep emotion within your field that is so powerful.
So, would you go out on a limb with me and say that if you're someone that is emotionally impacted by music, then sound healing might be something that could be beneficial for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems so, right? Because you have the ability to connect.
And even if sound is not something that strikes an emotion with you, the the instruments, um they're not just instruments. They're more or less tools. Like they're tools of attunement. So even if you are not um, resonating really with what the actual sound it is. It's not provoking a emotional response from you. It's still on a deeper level is creating a field that allows people to heal just by the sheer vibration of the instrumental tools. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Go ahead,
Mm-hmm.
Alex, you have something to say. I
Yeah,
can see it on
I
your
just spit it out, spit it out. No, I wanted to also get your take on, the use of like a binaural beat and how even though those are two things that may seem not in harmony, the vibrational effect in a positive way that can have on the recipient.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, binaural beats have definitely been said to create, your brainwave activity and help in multifaceted ways. It's slightly different than using, say, crystal bowls
Mhm.
or any sort of instruments because you're supposed to wear with binaural beats headphones, and then you're getting tones alternating between your right and left ear. But it does happen to have very similar effects to, say, a sound bath in some way. Yeah.
So we looked up sound healing to see what AI had to say.
Love it.
In sound healing, resonance principles are engaged to reharmonize cells imprinted with disruptive frequencies. Such troublesome imprints may have resulted from toxic substances, emotional traumas, pathogens, or long-term exposure to noise pollution. What say you about that?
Yeah, I think that's very true and so much deeper.
So then it goes on to say, at the heart of sound healing is a fascinating concept called entrainment. It might sound technical, but it's actually quite straightforward. So, entrainment describes how the vibrations of one object can influence and sync up with the vibrations of another nearby object. So, what say you about that?
Absolutely. Your body and your brain absolutely sync to the rhythm, and that is brain entrainment. Yeah. So it can shift your brain from your busy, I guess, beta into more of a calm state, or even a deeper meditative state like theta. And so when you immerse yourselves in these beautiful instruments, they definitely, you entrain to them because of the frequency of your body and because of the frequency of the sound that's emitting.
So can I ask you a question, please? Do you have a preference? Because I geek out over this stuff. Do you have
Yeah.
a preference, or do you base it on the need at hand in training, using brain entrainment, right? Trying to level up, or using sound, because sound can also be used to break up.
Correct. Yeah. So when I typically play in sound, it's for me it's more of an intuitive process. Um, I essentially kind of co-create the energy of the moment with the bowls. So I I always trust that what's going to happen in the sound bath is meant to happen. Um, my bowls specifically, they don't play the same with every group, every person, every environment. They have their own little personalities and energies of their own. So sometimes I'll have an experience where the bowl just won't play, or they'll connect with more of a binaural beat versus a harmonic. And so, you know, I trust in the way that it's supposed to happen, and that the recipient of the sound is going to have an experience that was meant for them. There are ways to disrupt the field with moving any static, um, energy that might be in the field, and you can like purposely do that. And oftentimes, if I'm feeling intuitively pulled to create some sort of disruption that is a little bit more jolting, um, I will do that, but not very long, and I'll bring it back into harmony. Hmm.
Gretchen, when you give a class, or when you is it really called a class when you do a sound healing session? Probably.
No, it's more like a journey, or yeah, a session. Yeah.
So when you facilitate
Yes.
a session, there
That's
you
better.
go. Together we're a
Facilitate.
team.
Yeah.
Together we're a team. Yeah. When you facilitate a session, do you first take a moment to uh, try to get a feel for what the room is feeling, and where you need to go with the process for that particular session? And
Yes.
if so, how? What do you do? What is your practice?
Typically, and we can go, I get a little woo here, but I usually have Oracle decks. And so I have them come in and choose a card from the Oracle deck. And we go around the room and introduce ourselves. And maybe if there's an intention they'd like to set for the session or the journey, then I let everyone speak that openly. If they wanted to share what Oracle card they picked, they're welcome to do that. And again, it's more of an intuitive practice, just based off of what people's intentions are, and we kind of go from there.
I love that. It's really truly being in the moment and not getting caught up in a set practice so much that you forget or get out of practice of being in that moment and letting intuition be your guide.
Yes, 100%, Alex. Yeah, it's really, I never play the bowls the same. I never play the same harmonic chords all together. At the same, just no sound bath is the same.
Your sequence may change.
Correct. Yeah, correct. My sequence changes. It's just kind of as I sit with the bowls, and it's just like we're co-creating this this journey together, and I trust that, okay, it's almost they all have energies, and to me it's just the connection with the bowl. I feel like, okay, she wants to be played. Now I'm going to play her. Now I'm going to play this one. And then it just kind of like is this symphony of, that I just kind of move along. Sometimes I go into it really nervous and like, oh, which bowl should I start with? But the moment I sit down in front of them, it really just is a co-creative process.
So let's just talk about the preparation for a sound bath and how you prep yourself and the room. Because it's not as easy as one might seem. There's a bit of work involved.
Yes, depending if I'm traveling to somebody's home or a place, I definitely have to. It's not a inexpensive passion, nor is it something easy to bring with you anywhere. I have a nice rolling cart that I have all of my bowls are all in bags and all my instruments, and so I come with lots of loads when I come, because I have a handful of bowls and other sound instruments such as a wave drum and a rain stick and some chimes, and so it's quite extensive, and it does take at least, I would say, a good hour maybe to prep, to see the space, set up, and I like to warm up my instruments a little bit.
And I'm assuming that you place your instrumentation based on the configuration and acoustics of the room? Or do you kind of have a general setup that you use?
I usually have a general setup because of the notes that my bowls are. And so I like to put them somewhat near each other, but that also changes too. Really, I just kind of intuitively go into it and go, this is the way it's going to work today.
Now you have more than one kind of bowl, right? You have they're frosted bowls, alchemy bowls, Tibetan bowls.
Correct. I have all of them. I have the frosted bowls. I have Crystal Tone's alchemy bowls, which are my absolute favorite. Yeah. And I have a few Tibetan bowls.
Can we talk about the variation of those bowls? When you use them and how you select them, and maybe even a little hint about some costs?
So the frosted crystal bowls that you'll see many people have, they're the least expensive. I think I bought my first one for a couple $100, and then I ended up buying a set on Amazon when I was first getting into it that was about $300. But they're great bowls. They're great starter bowls. They definitely have some good tone. However, you really have to work the bowl with a mallet. As you circle around the bowl, you really have to continue to get the bowl to play. You have to continually circle around it and play it. They are made in China. They are handmade, but I believe most of them are made in China. Whereas Crystal Tone's alchemy bowls are 99.9% quartz, and they have infusions of different elements in them. I have a few. My three main bowls. One is infused with copper, One is infused with iron and the other platinum. So it really brings more of like the earth, I would say, into it. There's also, they have a variety of different bowls that have different crystals in them, as far like I would say rose quartz, or they have moldavite and any sort of crystal that you could think of. Some of them have. And those bowls range starting $700 per bowl up to, I think I've seen one for 20,000.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's not
It's not for the faint of heart.
It is not for the faint of heart. It is an investment. I had my first experience a few years ago, maybe in 2021, with the Crystal Tones Alchemy Bowls. A gal up in LA had a sound bath on the beach, which was so cool. And she had a handful of alchemy bowls, and I left my body in that sound bath. I had such a transformative experience. And when I came out of that sound bath, I said, "Where did you get those bowls? I need those bowls." And she told me, and then I looked at the price and I said, oh, this is going to be a, one at a time type of
Mhm.
thing. And so over the years, I've slowly added to my collection.
And can I ask you this, with the alchemy versus the frosted, your take on the firsthand experience before you purchase as opposed to buying them online?
Yeah, I would, if this is a practice that somebody wants to get into, I would highly recommend do not purchase your bowls online.
I agree.
You definitely want to hear them and hear how they play. And when I go to purchase a new alchemy bowl, I bring all my bowls, and and then I have an experience where I play my bowls with potential bowls that I want to purchase. So it's definitely again, another co-creation, because you really need to know, based off of, most all the bowls have a fundamental note. And so if you know the notes that are within each harmonic chord, like an A, C, and E, but not all A, C, and E's are going to work well together.
Right.
So you could look online and say, oh, well, I need an E for my A and C, but you have no idea how they'll play together.
The pitch, maybe.
It's the pitch.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And all of the alchemy bowls have overtones.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's also, tricky. I have I brought this, I call her Egyptian blue, into my set, and I had to play her with all my bowls to make sure that she set well with them, I guess. And I went to, I would never have guessed that this F would have been, would go well with the A that I had. But unless you play them together, you're not going to know. And what I wanted to say, what I missed about playing them, is where with these bowls, you really don't have to work them like a frosted bowl. You can circle them one time, and their frequency and their sound will go out for a minute, if not longer.
Mm-hmm.
They really ripple through, which is so beautiful. So it's not like you have to sit and really play them that hard. So I can play the bowls. I can walk away and play instruments over people, and then the bowl will still be singing. So it has this effect, which is fantastic, that makes people think that I'm all over the room.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you're talking about this experience that you just had purchasing, you made an appointment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You went to were you in Sedona when you bought this bowl?
Well, I've bought a few of the bowls all over. I had there are So the company Crystal Tones is based in Utah, but they have preferred vendors that specifically only carry crystal tones. So there are a few in Sedona. There is a flagship store up in Mount Shasta, and there is one here in San Diego. I believe, yes. They were in Encinitas. I think they just moved. But yes, you have to make an appointment, and they're so great because they ask what's your price range, what notes and bowls do you already have, and so you kind of list it all out for them. And then when you get there, they pull a bunch of bowls for you to bring into the mix with your bowls and to play. And so it's great to have the opportunity to hear them as a attendee, just to have somebody else play them so you can hear them without having to play them. And then you get to sit and play it and see how it feels for yourself, which is really a really beautiful experience.
It really is the ultimate buying experience if you think about it. If they were all
Yes.
like that, right?
Absolutely.
And if you have two bowls that you're considering that are similar in the resonance, does your emotion factor in? So when you're hearing one and it makes you very emotional versus the other one that's a really nice sound, does that factor in for you in your purchasing?
That's a great question. I haven't had an experience where I've had a really strong emotion, because yes, I love to play them for myself, but my gift is to give, to serve, and to share this. I have had dreams about one of my bowls. In one of my first fight, I bought a set of 3 in Mount Shasta, and I had a dream about the bowl before I purchased it. So I knew I needed that bowl.
There was a little divine guidance right there.
Right.
But you also had that experience on the beach with the gal who was drawing the sound bath. Drawing the sound bath. I like the way it sounds.
Yeah.
And you needed to have a bowl. So there's a bowl that you connected with emotionally, right?
Yeah,
That you felt like I need. I would imagine the difference is I need this bowl, and that's a nice bowl, and I would like to have it. Is right?
Right. Yeah. And I would say with something like a alchemy bowl where the investment is high, you definitely want to have a strong connection with a bowl.
And what's I think I know the answer to this question, but the relationship, because the bowls will relate to each other, right?
Yes. I find that they do.
All of them? All of them?
Yeah. When you play them together, like I said, no experience is ever the same, because I think ultimately it's the energy of you, it's the energy of the people in the room, and maybe with the spaces, but they don't. Sometimes I find that he just won't play, and I have to work him a lot. And in other rooms and other times, he will sing beautifully. So I think they for me, I feel like they have little personalities, little energies.
They do. I have a Tibetan bowl that will only play for one person.
Yeah. See.
Other than that, can't get her to play. Can't get him to play.
So you're using the same technique when you play the bowl, but sometimes it just doesn't want to sing, and sometimes it does. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Sometimes it will just, you can play, 3 of them together, and yesterday they played beautifully together, and then today, if I'm playing and there's some sort of disruption where the bowl just won't sing as high pitched, or you could feel, as you get into sound, the sound, you really could hear the little minutia of where the bowl is off when you've been playing for so long. Well, whereas somebody who's experiencing it might not actually, feel or hear that. But with me, and knowing their potential, I can feel and hear the slight um variation of what they normally play. So they and I'm not sure the energetics behind that. I mean, there's theory, but it's fascinating to me.
It
So
almost makes them feel human.
I mean, I think
Mhm.
they have consciousness of their own. Um and they, co-create the energy of the moment. So, what maybe you'll have a room full of very heart-centered people, and the bowls will sing beautifully and ripple out. Whereas if you have maybe a room full of people who are not, came off of work and they're upset or they're emotional or just something trying is going on in their life, um, maybe the bowls will play differently because
Hmm.
they're trying to target, um, the emotional field.
I mean, when you
And you,
break it down, everything is energy,
Hmm.
everything is vibration. And so it's going to be a relationship because, my desk, my computer, me, you, we're all energy sources.
Hmm.
So there has to be a relationship there.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it begs the question for me: is there are they do they have an independent emotional uh, um, output, or is all that transmitted through the person who is facilitating the sound bath? In other words, when people come in, is it the bowls feeling the anger? Is it the bowls feeling the love? Or is it the practitioner feeling it and then it comes through the bowls that way?
Mm. Well,
What do you
my
think?
get my guess is, and I don't know. I think my theory is the bulls have their harmonics and their notes and their overtones, and they ripple out this frequency, this vibration into the field. But if the energy in the field, per se, myself or any of the attendees, is somewhat distorted, that may cause a change in the pitch or the sound
Mm.
because it's rippling. So if you think of dropping a stone in a lake or a pond, and you have this ripple effect, it kind of, I envision that's how the sound waves go out. It continues these ripples throughout the water. And so if there is not something that might be a little bit more stuck, or an energy that's a little bit more denser, it might, kind of, if a ripple hit something
Mm.
on the top of the water, then it would create a different pattern that goes out.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
I'm envisioning a room full of people, uh, and a room full of energy from those people, and the
Mm-hmm.
sound being not manipulated, but the sound basically responding to that energy,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on that energy, it's going to vary in a
Correct.
room.
Yeah, I would say that's how I see it.
It's like somatics, right? So
Yes.
the word or the emotion or the intent behind the word can have a dramatic effect on a plant, on water, on the crystallization of, the water crystals and how they form. And that's a negative or malintent energy versus a positive loving will change how the crystal is formed.
Hmm. Very
Yeah.
interesting. It is woo woo. I mean, it has to. You just can't get around the fact that is definitely woo woo.
Well, and
Definitely.
I like that Alex brought up the seismatics, because that's just, I'm sure many of people have seen that, when you play, vibration and sound, it creates pattern and matter. So if you've seen them when they play, like something hits, like a tuning fork or something hits a plate of sand, it creates a pattern.
Hmm.
And so that vibration is creating a beautiful um, geometric pattern. And if you think that does the same thing to water, and our bodies are,
Mhm.
up towards of 70% water. And so sound does travel faster in water. And so your whole system feels this vibration and that kind of ripples through your tissues and your nervous system and your energetic field. So you're being bathed in it and it's restructuring the water within your body, which has amazing health benefits. It's basically accelerating your cells healing.
In addition to relaxing you.
Correct. Yes.
So it has mental impact and physical
Hmm.
impact as well.
And because, instruments like bowls and chimes, and they really allow you to more or less go within yourselves. They're non-linear sounds, so they're not on a pattern. Whereas when we go to a concert or we listen to music, there's always a beat. There's why
Mhm.
you want to
There's a form, there's a
there's a
beat,
form, there's a
right?
pattern, and our brain likes to latch on to patterns because it's the little, it's things we can control and we anticipate patterns. But with sound healing and these different instruments that are nonlinear in sound and they don't have patterns, um, it's really hard for your brain to latch on to anything. So it allows you to get into this deep, meditative beta state, and that's really when your cells have the potential to heal while you're in these states, not only from just being in a theta state, but also being in a theta state and receiving all of these beautiful um, sound.
Are you saying beta or theta
Theta.
with a th?
Mhm.
Yeah, theta with a th.
And what is that state?
It's a meditative brainwave state. So if you're in beta, beta is like you're active every day. We're in beta. And then alpha is calmer. So that's more of just like a calmness or regulation of your nervous system. But when theta is like that subconscious, almost like trance right before you hit delta, which is deep, deep sleep. So you're kind of in this. Have you ever been in like a float tank before?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're almost witnessing what's, you can kind of drop in and out of like sleep, but not. It's like that point right before you fall asleep is your theta state.
It doesn't last very long for me.
It's the silence at the end of Om. It's that fourth element of Om.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wanted to ask you one question. We got into your transformative experience, and without getting personal and asking you to share that, when you are having those transformative experiences, what is that like for you? Are you seeing color, visions, what is that experience like for you?
Most of it for me, I'm not super visual per se. I mean, I'm a visual person. I say when people are talking to me and I'm visualizing things, but when I get into that state, there's not a lot of visual that comes to me. For me, it's more of a feeling.
Mhm.
I'm more of a felt sense, and so I feel things, and when I feel things in my body versus maybe seeing color or seeing things, and sometimes there are more things that just maybe pop into my mind that are more or less like epiphanies. Yeah, but I know some people who see color when they hear sound in those states, and
Mhm.
it's beautiful. So that's what's so beautiful is everyone has their own individual experience. I've had a few sound baths where, certain my wave drum that, sounds like thunder. Sometimes it can be jolting for one person, but, I've had people come up to me after and say, I was immediately brought to the beach and I was with my grandmother when I was hearing that, that wave. It was so beautiful. And then I've had another with my little Koshi chimes. They've been brought back to running around with their children when they were little kids. So
Mm.
it's just, it's so beautiful because everyone has such a individual, unique experience, and you never know what's going to just come out of it.
And it's so beautifully non-judgmental. It doesn't
Yes.
matter what that experience is. There is no right and there is no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It is an area of spiritually free shaming. There's no spiritual shaming going on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So Alex says that she uses something called a pano tuner. What is a pano tuner? Do you use one?
Mm-mm.
What is it, Alex?
Well, I just use it if I want to try and verify a note when I'm selecting a bowl. I don't have the alchemy bowls yet. It is my goal. So I've used it in the past when I am buying a frosted bowl. Or even a Tibetan. I only have a couple of small Tibetans. So it just kind of helps me get a sense, because if I'm in a store and I see a bowl and I play it and I do get struck emotionally. The very first bowl I bought made me cry. And that's why I purchased it over 3 different other bowls that I was kind of leaning towards. The one that made me cry is the one I purchased.
Absolutely.
So I'm not, and you know how heavy the frosted bowls are, so I'm not traveling with them. If I happen to find myself in a shop that's selling bowls, I don't have it on hand. So I'll use the pano tuner to get a sense of the note and how many cents up or down to see if I think it's going to pair.
Yes, that makes sense. I have a little app on my phone that does the same, very similar.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. It was one of the crystal shops here in San Diego, and one of the guys that works there, Caesar, is my little guide. So he said, no, you need to get this app, get the pano tuner. So
yeah. It's definitely helpful. And the thing that I find interesting is this whole marketing with chakra bowls. And you know, the C is the root and the D is the sacral, and I I think a lot of people subscribe to that, which I think there is something behind it, but also I think every note, like, again, it's an individual journey. So a C somebody might feel in their crown and not in their root. So I definitely want to, debunk, I guess, what is kind of trendy right now is getting chakra bowls.
Yes, thank you.
So what I'm hearing is that chakra bowls pretend to say a C will help you with this, and E will do this.
Right. Yeah. So it's basically to the chakras in your body. So the C is your root, which is at the base of the spine, and then it moves up. And so the note C, if you get a note C bowl, then that's supposed to activate or clear your root chakra. But I don't find that to be 100% true. I think it's just very much marketing.
Yeah, and when you're moving up the scale and up the octaves, that C can be such a high pitch, it can totally activate. So, yeah, no, I don't know where you fall in that. Well, yes, I do. I think it's more about intent than it is right. Okay, yeah,
right. And I have a bigger A bowl, and A is your third eye, and so, but it's deep. And so I feel like that is a really good, deep, grounding bowl to start with, because it's just for me it feels rooted, but it's an A. So it's also, I think, the bigger the bowl, the deeper the tone. And so that also has a place in it too.
So what about lower vibrations and higher vibrations? Is there any rule of thumb for them in terms of what they do or what they help with?
In my experience, like the lower, the deeper vibrations, the bigger bowls are definitely feel more grounding. They resonate more with people. I like deeper tones. I like bigger bowls because I'm very I'm a water sign, so I'm very all over the place.
They're
And
also
so
warmer. They're warmer.
yeah. And so I feel more grounded when I have a deeper tone, when I'm working with a deeper tone. But some people really like the higher pitched, smaller bowls that create more of like an ethereal
Mm-hmm.
sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they both have their place and they're both beautiful to interweave together. If you are doing a sound bath, sometimes I'll start, at the root and then work with the deeper bowls and then work my way up the chakra system and then kind of end in the higher notes, which are a little bit more on the, tailored to the crown.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So you also mentioned some other instruments that you use. What is the
Yes.
purpose of those, and what do they do?
They all have different frequencies. I have a drum that has it's called a wave drum. So or a thunder drum. It has little beads inside the drum. So it sounds like waves crashing on the beach when you
Mm,
move through.
mm,
It's beautiful. Um, Rain sticks, which obviously sound like
mm,
rain. I have some chimes that are beautiful that almost sound like wind chimes.
mm,
I have a swinging chime, which is beautiful because when you hit the noises, then you can actually swing it. So it creates this super different sound.
mm.
Um, I have a crystal pyramid. Wow. And I'm trying to think what else I have. I have a native flute, but I'm not quite confident enough yet to use my native flute.
Yeah, that I imagine takes some practice,
Hmm.
getting the right tones from the flute and knowing when to use it. And
Yes.
I
I do want to I would love to have a gong.
just going to ask you about
Yeah,
that.
I love gongs. I did a gong training a few years ago and it's just, that's like an alchemy bowl. That's definitely an investment. It's a lot to schlep around,
Hmm.
but they are very powerful and very good at breaking up stagnant energy.
They
Um,
really a gong bath, I experienced one recently, is wow.
mhm.
It was wow. I do have one. Um, and I really want to get trained in that because I can't the experience just I wasn't expecting that from a gong bath. I thought, oh, it'll be
Yeah.
nice, but it's not going to be like crystal bowls, right?
Hmm.
Nope, it was equally as amazing.
Yes.
Wait, I'm having an idea about a show.
Oh, yeah.
No,
The Gong Show.
right.
I know where you're going, Mr. Bollotta.
I'm sorry.
I love it. No, I love it.
Oh,
But
that's great.
instead of people do, right? They leave their bodies, so they are getting hooked off the stage. There you go.
Yeah, standing in front of a gong while it's being, you know, hit with a mallet it's you could feel the vibration in your body. It's really quite potent.
And gongs too have different sounds, right? The
Mhm.
smaller the gong, the higher the tone, the
Mhm.
bigger the gong, the louder and
Yeah.
more grounded. So, what size gong are you looking for? What size gong do you think you'll need?
I don't know, maybe a 27-inch would be nice, but yeah,
That is a lot to schlep around.
it is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the bigger the better, right? But
That's what they say.
yes, they do. Um, but yeah, that hopefully eventually. I also do love hand pans and tongue drums. My girlfriend has a beautiful tongue drum, and every time I go over to her house, I just sit and play it, and that would be definitely something that I'd love to bring into the mix.
So I have to ask you, can you do it? Because I have a couple. Can you play the tongue drum with just your fingers and get that same gorgeous sound as you get with the mallet? Because
No.
a friend of mine can do that, and I'm watching him, and I'm trying to copy him. I can get a little tone out of it, and I just don't practice enough. I'm sure that's partly it, but what he can do, the sound he can get with just the light tap of his fingers on a tongue drum is incredible.
I believe it. Yeah, there's a young boy. I think he's Australian. I could be wrong, but he's on Instagram, and he probably has over 1 million followers.
Wow.
And he has a handpan, and he just will sit there and jam out and play, and it is the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. Um, it's fascinating. He'll just sit there and play, and he does a whole bunch of Instagram reels, and it's amazing. It was like has done lifetimes of playing this instrument.
Probably has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
They're beautiful. Handpans are gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Those are big to schlep around too.
And they're pricey. They're not cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there is so much. There's so many instruments. I have like kukui nuts that I use. And so it's always just, finding where it weaves into the sound bath, and it keeps people's, brains kind of all over the place and not attaching to any one thing, which is really cool. And then having most people I have wear eye masks, so they're really, having that full sensory moment without having the light in the eyes. It's quite powerful. And the amazing thing is so many people, in my experience lately with corporate events, is I would say the last corporate event I did, about 90%, 95% had never experienced a sound bath before.
Yeah, I believe that's true. I think in California we've experienced it maybe more than the rest of the world, but
I agree.
I believe that.
I definitely agree. It's definitely more of a California, San Diego thing. I mean, it's definitely trending, but it's great that it's trending, because I think this is the potential healing for our future.
How long is it? Oh, sorry, Anthony. Go ahead.
How long is a sound bath?
I usually do for when I'm hosting them about 75 minutes, about 60 to 75 minutes, because I start, I welcome, we talk about intentions, and then I get everyone comfortable, and I go through kind of a quick guided meditation, like that focuses everybody on their body, and we do a little bit of breath work and get them more into relaxed state, and then we kind of dive into the sound, and then we come out. I like to bring them out slowly and make sure people have time to come back to their bodies and they're not, kicked out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But in some of the corporate ones I've done, they've been 20 minutes, which is, for me, it's not, not my ideal, especially working a corporate event and then schlepping all that stuff down there and for just 20 minutes is, it's still powerful. I mean, I've been shocked that people have been snoring in my 20-minute sound bath. So clearly it had some sort of effect on some people. But I find I'm excited that it is coming, and this wellness is coming to corporate and corporate events. I think it's great. I also am concerned about not allowing the spaciousness within the event to really let that settle, because it's just like, oh, this is on the agenda. This is on the, this is part of a workshop. And then once you leave this, you got to go straight into some other corporate talk. And it feels like it's more like, oh, it's a trend, so we got to build in this wellness, but it's not really being supported in the way it should be supported. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Is
Yeah,
there
100%.
Is there a perfect time of day for a sound bath outside of being in a corporate setting?
I mean, I think there's always a perfect time for a sound bath, but
That's a good answer.
I personally like evening sound events, because people could it puts them in a relaxed state, and they get ready. They go home. I tell them to try to stay away from their electronics and any blue light, and remain in that like meditative, beautiful state where it's more contemplation. So then they can go home and then go right to bed. Because some people's dreams are really peaked after a sound bath. And so evening time, I think, is always great. But you could do it in the mornings. I prefer not to do it so much in the mornings after people are hopped up on caffeine.
Mm.
Because I think that people get a little bit restless.
It feels a little counterproductive. I'm not particularly a morning person myself, so yeah. So
I know this.
so yeah, it wouldn't be the first thing I would want to jump into because it seems a little like I need to get myself up for the day, not relaxed for the day. I need that more later.
Right. I find that most people do it in the evenings, and like I said, I like to host mine in the evenings, or when I do retreats, we always usually do it in the evening, unless we're pairing it with another transformational experience like breath work. Sometimes we'll do breath work, which is really activating and can be also emotional, but you're really like moving energy as you're breathing. And then at the end of breath work for maybe 10 to 15 minutes, bring them back down into sound and more of a relaxed state. And that's always been a beautiful experience when we've paired those together, or even with Reiki. Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, now it talks Alex's language.
Reiki and sound. Those are my
Yeah.
love languages. That Reiki, sound, and cooking. Those are my 3 love languages.
I love
there you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, did you have any other questions for Gretchen?
Oh gosh.
I know we could probably talk about this for hours, Alex.
You had
Yeah.
one that I stepped on.
No, that's okay. I just was curious about the answer, not about who asked it. So I don't even remember which one that was.
Okay. Well, I did find something that I thought was interesting that I thought we should talk about, and that is there are times in one's life or certain people that maybe wouldn't benefit from a sound bath. Like in this particular article, pregnant women are in their first trimester apparently should exercise caution. But what they say is avoid having sound instruments placed on their bodies. Is that even a practice?
Yes, that is a practice.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see why it would be bad for pregnant women. I've had pregnant women in mine, but not like I could see where the bowls on the body would be something you definitely would want to use caution about.
I mean, I am going to throw this out there, just having studied, that it also depends on the sound. There are more activating sounds. So you may not want to use a highly activating sound like a gong on somebody that has PTSD or that has high anxiety, right? That goes into kind of panic attacks. And so maybe in that first trimester, and this is just a thought, that first trimester for a woman, you might want to use the lower, more grounding, more calming, and the less high-pitched or loud or high vibratory instrumentation.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Well, it also says something about people with open wounds, avoiding sound healing instruments near open wounds or scars that are not yet healed. Have you heard that before?
No. Have you, Alex?
No, I have not.
That's really random.
I mean,
I have cuts on my fingers all the time. I'm probably usually playing the bowls.
No, I think it probably, and again, this is just my thought, not dispensing medical advice, that it can help with cell restructuring faster.
Yeah.
I do know from a Reiki standpoint, when you're doing a distance healing, which I do, you're not going to perform a distant Reiki on somebody when they're in the middle of surgery. You do it before and after, but you don't do it while they're in surgery and under anesthesia. And there's a reason for that. So that can be the only link. It's that vibration, because when you're doing distance Reiki, you're sending out the energy. It's all vibration. It's all energy. But in all of the studying that I have done, that one was not brought up.
Mm.
Yeah, I've never heard that either.
It's a very interesting fact, if it is a fact.
Where did you find that?
I found that online, and I couldn't tell you where. I couldn't tell you where right now, but it was through a Google search. I can tell you that much. I want to close, if you don't mind, with an article I read by Chloe Bowen of Cosmopolitan magazine, who said this about sound healing. I didn't sign up for a sound bath expecting it to change my life. Instead, I came away viewing sound very differently and how we connect with it. I believe there's a huge potential for me to experience something more next time, but the sensations I felt during my first session felt incredibly powerful and felt like a positive step in my self-care journey. If you feel anxious, don't ignore it. Instead, take steps to prioritize your peace of mind. And if you're open to it, maybe play around with sound in the process.
Oh, yes. Snaps. Yes, absolutely.
And any final words?
Yeah, I would invite anyone who this is piquing their interest or curious that has never been to one to definitely take the leap and have the experience. I mean, really all you do is lay there. Which is the greatest part ever.
It's not hard.
You don't need to do anything but just lay for an hour. It's great. I mean, as a sound bath, just to be an attendee of the sound baths, great. I love going to sound baths, but I'm also more pulled away, like, what instrument's that? Or what are they doing with that? So it's not always the most restorative and relaxing for me.
Right. Because you're way too involved now.
I'm way too involved with what's going on, but still, it's such a beautiful practice. It's just an opportunity to journey deeper into yourself, into your body.
Can I add this too, please? That
Yes.
It's not also just for the hearing, because it's the vibratory experience on people who are hearing impaired is incredible. And I do say this firsthand, as a friend of mine was playing my bowls and it brought her to tears. And she is hearing impaired, and she actually turned off her hearing devices to get that full experience.
Wow.
And so her best friend, who's my roommate, bought her a bowl because it was so wonderful. And this was shortly after a discussion with my brother, who said, well, sound wouldn't work on a deaf person. And I'm like, no, pretty much just the opposite.
It does. It's just vibration, and it's frequency moving through.
So don't let that stop you, folks.
Right. That gave me goosebumps, Alex. Thanks.
And it's pretty easy to find sound healing. Just a Google search is all you need. Sound healing, put in your city, and hopefully there's something near you. If not, broaden your search a bit. But I'm sure that even though it's a California thing, you will find sound healing available throughout the country, the world, wherever you're listening from. So just do a search, look for sound healing. Take a deep dive into sound baths, and know that there's no water involved, just peace, relaxation, and healing.
Sometimes there is water involved, just FYI. They're starting to do these sound events on pools, on floaties.
Oh, well, that sounds beautiful.
Mm-hmm. That's a next level sound bath.
That is so next level. It's like doing yoga on a surfboard.
Pretty much.
Let's create a vibroacoustic bed that is also a raft.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. We just created something. Let's make it happen.
Let's patent that.
Sounds like a sexual device to me.
Well, I mean, whatever floats your boat, Anthony.
I don't know. But I'm pumped. And on that note.
Oh, great.
Hey, thank you for listening to Bollotta-FIDE.
If you haven't already, please like and subscribe.
And remember to leave us your questions or comments at bollotta.com/podcast.
Bollotta-FIDE is a production of Bollotta Entertainment.
Hey, that's a lot of Bollotta. Stay engaging.